Joining us now is Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin, elected in 2010 as the first ever female governor of Oklahoma. Governor, thanks for joining the John Fredericks Show, Common Sense for the Commonwealth. You're on the Straight Talk Express.
Well, I'm glad to be with you today.
Okay. Now, Governor, President Barack Obama's big speech on Thursday night has been shifted indoors to the Bobcat Arena from the Panther football stadium, a venue with over 70,000 seats, due to impending bad weather. Now, many were saying the stadium would have been half empty. So is it divine intervention, even though the Democrats took God out of their platform?
Well, you know what's interesting? I'm here in Charlotte, and there are some clouds outside, but there's not that big of a chance of rain. You know, I think that they're having a little bit of trouble with getting the crowds here to the president's speech.
Well, you know, we understand that they were attempting to ship people in from other states. Do you find that's over the top?
Well, I think it is a little interesting that they're changing venues at the last minute, and especially when the weather doesn't seem to be that bad. But I think, people are starting to listen and pay attention to what's being said, especially last night after the first day of the Democrat convention and some of the interesting things that they're saying, things that we've known all along. But, you mentioned about God a few moments ago. I mean, you look at the Democrat platform, it seems to have taken a hard turn to the left, even for the Democrat Party, when they're taking the reference of God and God-given potential out of their own platform, taking the mention of Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, to their support of gay marriage, further gun restrictions, their attack on energy in America. I mean, this is a party that's leaving its own party.
Well, the platform seemed a little over the top. We still can't figure out why they gave God a backseat in this platform. But, Governor, you're the first elected female governor in Oklahoma history. Why does President Barack Obama still enjoy such an overwhelming lead in recent surveys with women?
Well, he's had a little bit of a lead, but that lead is starting to diminish as more information gets out about Governor Romney. Governor Romney's been doing a good job of actually displaying women and talking about their great accomplishments, from Ann Romney speaking at the convention, talking about what a great father he's been, great husband, great businessman, great, certainly, man that took a state in Massachusetts and were able to turn that around to create lower unemployment, more job growth in that state. And then you look in general at women in politics in the Republican Party. I mean, gosh, we have twice as many Republican women that are governors than the Democrat Party does.
Right now, if I could switch over for a second to politics, Governor, you've earned a stellar reputation over your public career by working across the aisle and bringing disparate ideologies together to get things done in Oklahoma. Why can't Washington, D.C. take a page out of Governor Fallin's playbook?
Well, I appreciate that, and that has been something I've worked on for many, many years since I've been in different public offices. I'm just about finding solutions to problems facing our state, and certainly solutions facing and problems facing our nation. And I think that's what Governor Romney is trying to do. He's talking about big ideas, big solutions. He's talking about the things that are important to everyday Americans. They're concerned about jobs and opportunities. They're concerned about the national debt. They're concerned about right-sizing government itself. They're concerned about big government reach into our lives, and that's what Governor Romney's talking about. And he can, I believe, work across all lines of all Americans and political parties, because he's talking about things that really matter. If you look at the Democrat convention last night, you didn't hear them talk at all about whether America's better off under President Obama or not. They're trying to avoid that subject. In fact, President Obama even said himself that the job is incomplete. When they asked Governor O'Malley, who's the Democrat chairman of the Governors Association, how America was doing, he said, well, they're not doing as well as what they'd hoped he would do. So even his own party recognizes that President Obama hasn't been able to get the job done. And, of course, as you mentioned, now what we see in Washington, D.C. is a very divisive atmosphere there, where it is hard to get anything done because of just how President Obama's portrayed the issues and where he's trying to lead our nation.
Over the past 2 days, the Charlotte Democrats really seem to be playing up the politics of envy, or what I'm going to call the jealousy factor. And I'm going to ask you candidly, do you really believe that some voters will reject Mitt Romney because they're jealous of his wealth?
You know, I can't understand that, because as a mother, I hope that my son and my daughter will accomplish great things in their life. I think any mother or father wants their children to do better than they did, to accomplish things, and we celebrate success. We are proud of them when they do great things, but yet it seems like when Governor Mitt Romney has worked hard, provided well for his family, and has taken risk and won some, lost some, but has done very well in his life, that he belittles Governor Romney for achieving the American dream. And that's just not what America's about. America's about achieving the American dream and hoping that each generation of children will do better than what their parents have done.
So do you think the strategy will work, or do you think it will backfire?
No, I think it's going to backfire. I just think when we continue on with this campaign, we're talking about what really matters, and that is people being able to find good-paying jobs, being able to get our economy back on track. I think those things will resonate with people, and they want a leader like Governor Romney that's going to turn this nation around and provide a totally different vision for America.
Now, Governor, final question. We talked about it earlier, but there's been a lot of criticism concerning both the Democratic and the Republican platform coming out of each of their conventions. And in certain instances, both sides of some of the platform changes represent the extreme elements of activism on the two sides. In reality, do these platforms matter?
Well, the platforms are a way to generally express where a party stands on issues. But what I tell my fellow Republicans, if you agree with me on 90%, 95% of the issues, isn't that where you want to be? I mean, we know that the Democrat Party has espoused, as they did last night, that government is the answer to it all. I mean, they started out with a video talking about how government's a solution to the problems, and they were even having to backtrack on a lot of that even just last night. And the Republican Party believes in free enterprise. They believe in the American dream of being able to get a good quality education, to be able to find a good job, start a business, be an entrepreneur. The Republican Party believes in right-sizing government, that we focus on eliminating government waste. We keep our taxes low. We create the right type of business climate so businesses can grow and flourish, and so families can have good-paying jobs. And, of course, the Republican Party is also very concerned about the debt and the deficit, and wanting to reduce that and get it to a point where it's not going to jeopardize the future of our children. But yet that's where the Democrat Party's been leading us, is the high debt and high unemployment and big government control over our lives. So
do you see, as the campaign gets out of the second convention, do you believe that the political debate between Obama and Romney will be one of philosophy and ideology, or one of just fire Obama, he's not done the job?
No, I think it will be about philosophy and about their two very different visions for the future of America. I mean, we've had 4 years now of President Obama. He said he was going to cut the deficit in half. He hasn't done that. When he was asked how he feels about his job, he says, well, it's incomplete. Well, it's very incomplete. And when you take the 23 million Americans that are out there struggling right now to find a job, I mean, they're very concerned about their future. And so I think when they get into the debate and Romney outlines his 5-point plan of getting America back on track by focusing on creating American energy, American jobs, building the type of work skills that people need, increasing accountability and education, to expanding trade in America, to reforming our taxes and repealing Obamacare, those are things I think people will be able to identify with and see that there is a totally different vision that Governor Romney has to get America back on track.
Governor, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to talking to you again on the campaign trail. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.